Hi guys, today we are going to do the Word Chapter 3 guided project. So I'm going to move to the Word Chapter 3 tile and I'm going to choose the guided project 3.1. I'm going to download the start file right here. Once it pops up on the bottom of your screen, I want you to click it and then you will get this yellow bar. Make sure you are clicking Enable Editing and do then a File, Save As, and put it wherever you store your Software Savvy files. I'm putting mine in a folder called Software Savvy, so I'm going to navigate to that folder and then save your document. Now once you do that, step 1 on the guided project says open the file. Step 2 says save the file, which we've done. Step 3 says review the document displaying simple markup. Now right now that doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but if you notice on your document you've got these red lines and some kind of text bubbles here, that's going to be your simple markup. So that's what you are seeing. If you scroll through your document, you see all of these colors and the bubbles. We're going to deal with this. So what Word is doing here is it kind of shared a document with somebody else to proofread it, and they have put their comments and their changes in the document. So we're going to go through and just make sure these comments and changes we want to keep. So step number 4 says click on the Display for Review drop-down list, which is in the Review tab in the Tracking group. Now currently it says Simple Markup. We're going to pull this down and we are going to choose All Markup. So you're going to see not only these bubbles, you're going to see things crossed out, you're going to see comments on the side and so on. So it looks a little cluttered, but this is everything that Hasmik Kumar did to our document. So step B says click the reviewing pane drop down arrow and select the reviewing pane vertical. So here is my reviewing pane drop down arrow and I'm going to click reviewing pane vertical. So I see this little bar pop up on the side and these are all of the changes Hasmik has made. So step C says in the reviewing pane, find where Hasmik Kumar deleted television or teleweb courses. So I can see it's right here. It says Hasmik Kumar deleted television or teleweb course. Well, it tells me in the directions I'm going to right click right on this document, right on this deletion, and I can see that I've got some accept, reject, or track. It tells me in the directions I want to reject the deletion. So this is going to take this out and it's going to put it back originally how I had it. Step E says close the reviewing pane. So over here I can see I started with 12 revisions, now I have 11. I am all done looking at those revisions, so I'm going to hit the X. Step 5, it says move to the top of the document. Safest way to get to the top is to press your control button and home. If you want to, you can scroll all the way up to the top, but I need your cursor flashing right to the left of the title. It says in the next button, which is in the review tab changes group. Now if you look here, I have a comments group that has a next button. I have a changes group that has a next button. This is telling me in step 5, I want to be in this comments group, the changes group, and I want to hit the next button. So this goes to the first change. Now everything on my screen is highlighted because the first change that Hasmik made was they changed the left margin to 1 inch. So this applied to my whole document. That's why everything is highlighted. It tells me that I want to go to my accept button in the changes group. So up here I'm just going to go to the top half of the accept button and I'm going to click on it. And then I can see the little comment went away here on the side because I've accepted the change that he's made. Step D had said now let's go ahead and let's accept the next change, which was the heading style 1. So again, I'm going to go up to my accept button. I'm going to click on the top half of it and I'm going to accept them. Now I can see that each of my bold headings, one of the comments went away, and then I am going to go ahead and click on the bottom half of the accept button because rather than doing these all one at a time, I think Hasmic knows what he's doing. So I'm going to hit this down pointing arrow, and instead of doing these one at a time, I'm going to accept all changes all at once. Now I can see all of these crossed out things on my document and so on are now kind of put in place, so it looks better. Now step 6, it says move to the top of the document. So again, I'm going to press Control Home to get my cursor flashing up there. And now I'm going to deal with the comments. Now Hasmic didn't change things, but he kind of put suggestions in, so I want to deal with that. So I'm in my Review tab, and I'm going to go to the Comments section. Now, if I go to my Next button, my first comment is right here. Hasmic said, I think we should apply bold to each heading. Now, I can either accept that, reply to it, or resolve it. So what I am going to do is I'm going to reply to this comment. So over here in the comment itself, there's this tiny little button. I am going to click on it, and I can see my name pops up, and I'm going to hit done. I like his comment, and that's what I'm going to do because I've already made those changes. Step D says click the resolve button on the comment in the markup area, and the comment becomes grayed out. Now, I don't see any resolve button here, so I'm just going to kind of click in my text to kind of make that not active anymore. Now I am going to go back to my comments section, and I'm going to hit the Next button, and it takes me down here where Hasmic says we should apply the heading 2 style to each underlined heading. Well, I'm looking at it and I'm going, I think I already did that, but I don't think I need to comment on it. So I'm just going to go up here, and I am going to hit my delete button in my comments, and that gets rid of his comment on the side of the screen. Now I can scroll through my document and all of my comments are kind of taken care of and so on. So I'm going to leave this as is. Next, I am going to go over to my Review tab, and right now I'm looking at all markup. I want to change it to no markup, so nothing is displayed for comments or changes. Step 7 tells me I want to put on some document properties. Now remember, document properties are not anything you type in your document. They are kind of attached to your document and kind of define them. If you send them via email or put them online or something, they're kind of part of that document. So in order to put these properties on, I need to go to my File tab, and I am going to go to my Properties button. Now once I get to Properties, I'm going to go to Advanced Properties, and it tells me in step 7C for the title, I am going to type in Online Learning Plan. For company, which is down here, I am going to type in Sierra Pacific Community College District. And the manager is Hasmic Kumar. And then I'm going to click the OK button, and all of that stuff kind of is embedded in the file now, and I'm going to hit the back button to go back to my document. I'm going on to step 8. Step 8 wants me to apply styles to the document. So 8A says go to the document's first page and select the title Online Learning Plan. So I'm going to scroll down here. Okay, here's Online Learning Plan, and it tells me that I want to apply the title style. Now the title style is in my Home tab. So if I go back to my Home tab, I can see all of these styles right here. In order to see every single one of my style, I click this More button, which is the down pointing arrow with a line over it. This gives me all of my pre-made styles. Well, it tells me in 8A, I want to choose the title style, which kind of puts it centered and makes it a little bit bigger with a line underneath. Then it tells me that I want to choose the second line, which is the Sierra Pacific Community College District. And I'm going to go up to my styles, I'm going to enter or see More again, and I want to choose the subtitle style, which changes it to like a blue text. Step C says I want to apply the heading 1 style to all main headings. So the first main heading is purpose of this plan, and I am going to do the heading 1 style, which is right here. And then I'm going to do that same thing to definition of online learning modes. And I'm going to scroll through. I've got planning process. That is going to be a heading 1 also. Who we are now with online learning, heading 1. And that might be all of them. That's all of our main headings. Step D says apply heading 2 to all of those subheadings that are underlined. Now, we're not going to do this to the ones that we just changed, but let's scroll through, and anything that's kind of underlined, like I've got how our courses and programs selected online, this is going to be a heading 2. Then I've got leadership management of online learning, heading 2. Now, styles are just an easy way to change fonts all at the same time. Online learning offerings and programs, what student support services are currently available, how are faculty members trained, what tech support services are available, heading 2. What research is there about how our online students compare, heading 2. And that's it. Now I'm going to save my document right now, so I'm just going to press a simple Control S, and then I'm going to move on to the table of contents. So step A says click in front of the first main heading in the document. So I'm going to do a Control Home. So my main heading is purpose of this plan. Now, once I am here, I'm going to insert what's called a page break. Now I can go to my layout tab right here, and I can see here are my breaks. I pull this arrow down, and here is a page break. But there's a shortcut to putting in a page break. If you press Control and the Enter key, it automatically puts in a page break, and it shifts purpose of this plan down to the second page. Step B says on the new first page, place the insertion point directly after the subtitle. So my subtitle is College District. I'm going to put my cursor here, and I'm going to press and Enter. Step C says click the Table of Contents button, which is in the References tab. So I'm going to go to the References tab. I'm going to choose the Table of Contents button, which is right here. Now these are pre-made tables of contents. You don't have to do anything. So I am going to choose the Automatic Table 2, which is right here. Now it's kind of weird, but all of these things that we labeled as heading 1 and heading 2, it sees these as important pieces of the document, and it actually tells us what page these are on. Step number E says select the word Table of Contents, which are right now blue, so I triple clicked on them, and I'm going to apply black text 1 font for the color. So I'm going to go back to my Home tab, and here's my font color button here. I'm going to pull this down, and I'm going to choose black text 1, which is the second color over under theme colors. Now step F says if there's a blank line between the subtitle and the table of contents, delete it. I'm going to put my Show Hide button on, and I don't see an extra space here, but if you have an extra backwards P button, delete that. I'm going to turn off my Show Hide now. Step 10, I'm going to go into my footnotes. Now my footnotes are actually going to be the place where I tell where I've stolen information from. You can copy information in papers, but you have to give credit to where it came from. So one way to do this when you write a paper is to put it in the footnotes. So step 10A says go down to the second page, which is purpose of the plan. And it tells me to put my cursor after Web Enhanced Course. So after Web Enhanced Course and before the dash. So I'm going to put my cursor right here, and it tells me that I'm going to click the Insert a Footnote, which is in my References tab, and I can see I've got a whole footnote section here. So I'm going to click on the Insert Footnote, and automatically a tiny little number 1 pops up right there. And at the bottom of my page, a tiny little number 1 matches up here. So I know that these go together. So I can put some information about where I got this information in right here. Step C says type. This is a non-OL, which stands for online, course that uses OL tools, period. So that's what I'm typing in the footnote area. So it's a little bit more of a description about what this is. Step 10D, it says on the second page of the document, put your insertion point after the OL and before the space in the first body paragraph. So OL and the space in the first body paragraph. So I'm putting my cursor right here. I'm sorry, the second sentence. So I'm going to move in. It's the second line, OL. And I'm going to go to my insert a footnote, which is right here. And I am going to type the text online. Learning is referred to as OL throughout this report. Now I can see that these go in order. So the number 1 goes before the number 2 and so on. We're going to modify those numbers in just a second. So step 11A says click the footnotes launcher. So in my footnotes group here, the launcher is this little diagonal pointing arrow. I'm going to click on this. I am going to change my footnote numbers from 1, 2, 3 to lowercase I, lowercase II, and so on. And then I'm going to hit my apply button. My 1s and 2s change to lowercase i's. Step A, it says press Control Home to go back to the top of your document. Step B says click the footer button, which is in your insert tab. So instead of insert a footnote, go to your insert tab. And I want you then to choose your footer button, which is in the header and footer group. So here's my footer button. I want to choose the document info. I want to choose edit footer, which is right here. Now the footer is what gets displayed on the bottom of every page of this report. Step C, we're going to put some stuff into this document, or into this footer. So it tells me the first thing that I'm going to put in is the document title. So go up to your document info button, which is in your header footer design tab, and I want you to choose the document title. Press the right arrow once. So this is on my keyboard. I'm pressing the right arrow once, and then I am pressing tab to move to the center of my page because I've got a center tab put in right here. Now once I've got that, I'm going to insert my page number. So again, my insert tab, and then I am going to choose page number, which is right here, and then I want to put it in the current position, and I want to select bold numbers from the drop down. So I'm going to scroll through. It's not plain, it's not accent, it's bold numbers. Then it tells me that I want to select the whole footer, which is the page number and the title, and I want to go ahead and change the size to 10. So I'm going to go to my home tab and I'm going to change the font size to 10. Step I in 12 tells me to close the header footer button. So if I go to my header footer tools design tab, there's a red X here that allows me to close my header footer down. Step 13A, it says put my cursor before the last subheading. How are courses and programs selected for online learning? So I'm going to scroll through. How are, I missed it. All right, so I'm on page 2 of my document, and the how are courses and programs selected for online learning is right here, and it tells me I want to put my cursor right before this. Now I'm going to put in a page break. Again, you can put in a page break by going to your layout tab. Here's your break and then page, or you can do it by pressing Control Enter. This shifts it down to the next page. Now I want you guys to notice that this now is on page 3. If I go back up to my table of contents, it automatically knows that when I move this down, it went to page 3, or at least it should have. Okay, we might be updating it in just a second. Step 14 says insert a cover page. Press Control Home or go to the top of your document and then go to your Insert tab. And from your Pages group, here is an arrow that says Cover Page. Now a cover page is kind of like the title page in a book or a document. We've got some pre-made ones here, so we're going to choose Retrospect. Okay, so I'm going to go down to the R's. Here's Retrospect. And I've got now a cover page here, followed by a table of contents, and then followed by my report. Okay. Step D says click the subtitle, the document subtitle, which is right here, and I'm going to press my delete key. Now, it should get rid of the whole thing. Mine didn't. I can still see I've got a cursor here. So I'm going to go up here and I'm going to click on where it says subtitle. And then I'm going to try to press delete again. It gets rid of the whole box. Step E, it says click that author box, which is down here. This is author, is where your name is. And we don't need it. So I'm going to click on author here, the gray author, and I'm going to press my delete key. Step F says with your insertion point in this blank line where author was, we are going to go to our quick parts button, which is in our Insert tab, in our text group. So in our text group here, here's my quick parts button. Well, I am going to select the document property and I am going to choose the manager. Remember, our manager is Hasmic, and sure enough, his name pops in. Step H, it says apply bold to the company document property field. So the company is right here. I'm just going to kind of click and drag throughout this whole thing. I'm going to go back to my home tab and choose bold. Step I says type www.spccd.edu in the address. So where it says company address right here, just click in it and you are going to type the website www.spccd.edu, and it's going to be in all caps. And then step J says select the address document property field in the font dialog box and select the all caps. So I'm going to select this here, what I just typed, and I am going to go to my home tab in my font group, and right now this is all caps. I don't want it to be all caps, so I'm going to change it to lowercase. So it should look like this. Now again, in our table of contents, we have our numbers mixed up. How our online courses and programs should be on page 3. So I'm going to click anywhere in this table of contents. At the very top it says update table, and I'm going to click on update table, and then I'm going to make sure update entire table is filled in as the bubble, and then click OK. I can see now with those changes that I made, everything was updated. I'm going to save what I have, Control S, and I'm going to now submit my document. So I'm going to go back to upload my document. And again, I put my documents in my Software Savvy folder. And I'm going to open it. And it asks you, are you sure you want to submit the file? And I say yes. Hopefully I did okay. I got a 92. So again, I must have misspelled something in some footnotes. So if you want to see what you got wrong, it's always the red. So step 10D, I could redo that, and I could also redo step 12E. Now if you do that, just go back to your Word document, make those changes there, and then re-upload your file if you're not happy. I will always take the higher of the two scores.